Man of the year, man of the year, man of the year. Welcome to the number one friendship podcast in the country. I'm Matt Ritter.
I'm Aaron Cairo.
Guys, go to manoftheyearpodcast.com. There's a lot of exciting stuff on there. I mean, there's some tickets to our Netflix is a Joke festival show. We've got merch. You can go to our YouTube channel. A lot of exciting stuff happening.
Can't wait for the show, Matt.
I mean, it's going to be epic. So I have to apologize, Cairo. I missed out on a hang with one of our old Plainview crew members. I bailed because
you didn't. Not like it's very unlike you.
Actually, you forced my hand.
Well, so give the context, and then
I'm still suffering under a sinus infection and an ear infection. Nice combo. We call that the Sundance flu.
Yeah.
Third time going to Sundance, third time getting sick. And our friend was in town, and I didn't tell him I was sick. I was just trying to fight through and see if I could, get better. This was like 24 hours before. And so I was, doing all the bullshit, emergency, water, Dayquil. Eventually I went to the urgent care and they were like, you have a major sinus infection and an ear infection. And I bailed. But I was like debating it up until 3:00. And then you were like, I won't let you go.
Well, a lot to unpack here. First of all, I love that you said doing all the things. One is emergency, which is snake oil.
No. Hot take.
Okay.
The placebo effect is real if you want it to be.
Yes. Yeah.
So the real term for placebo effect is you're not supposed to know that it's fake.
But now
even if I know it's fake, I still think it works. So maybe that's not the placebo effect. Maybe we need to come up with a term for that.
So I was going to say, no, I've been reading about this recently. The placebo effect works if you know it's a placebo now.
So the whole thing is absurd. So it's just mind over matter.
Exactly. So emergency is a hoax. Water was one of your three things.
Are you going to tell me water's a hoax?
No, I'm just saying you're like, I was doing everything I could to get to this dinner. I really wanted
water, rest, tea, emergency. First of all, vitamin C is not a hoax.
Yeah, I don't think, does vitamin C help a sinus infection?
No, zero chance of clearing up.
So there was a few issues when I told you you're not coming to this dinner. Two were pretty selfish. One, this was before you went to the doctor, so you didn't know what you had. Yeah. One, I don't want to get sick.
Yeah, fair.
And two, we have to do podcasts. We have other work projects. So
we had a big pitch the next day. That you were that's more important. By the way, let's just pause and say the reason I'm bringing this up is because I wanted this topic to be about getting sick and whether you should show up when you're sick for friends. I feel like a lot of people try to power through, and I want to talk about whether that is or is not the right answer for a situation.
And I want you to disabuse me of this because I feel like this is, if you're really sick, you can't go. The friends got to understand the end. I mean, end of podcast.
All right, bye. No, love you, buddy. I think if it was that simple, great. Part of it is there's degrees of sickness.
Sure.
And I think most of it isn't like, obviously, if you have the flu, you're not going. It's not that we're talking about. So come on. That, yes, you're right. That's very cut and dry. But I feel that most of the situations are not cut and dry where you'll be at so many parties now, baby showers, baby events, birthday parties, whatever. Somebody's sniffling. Should they not have come?
I mean, if it's a sniffle and you don't think you're contagious and you can get up and about and it's a good friend, then you should go.
So somebody might totally disagree with you and go, well, no, fuck you, stay home. You have the sniffles. Who are you to like, oh, you don't think you're contagious? Like you're sniffling all over the place. I personally hate when people are sniffling all over a party.
But aren't you King Sniffle?
No. I don't even know where you get this stuff from.
Isn't that your Nintendo Mike Tyson?
No, I never go. I try to never go if I have any sort of ailment.
Oh yeah. I mean, I don't know. I honestly, knock on wood, I never get sick, so I don't. This doesn't really happen that often.
I'm
But
just saying, you go to a party, it's not just
yeah,
about you. You go to a party, you don't like see that all the time where some people are at varying degrees of some sort of
yeah,
malady.
yeah, sure. I mean, people do have varying degrees of maladies. I mean, all right. So I guess Captain Nuance strikes again.
I mean,
Sergeant
should we
Black and
not do
White.
this episode?
I mean, I think you. I mean, okay. Is it a binary choice? If you're sniffling, you can't go. Can't go to a
No, I'm
wedding.
saying
That's
I
my
think we have to I think you and I, this episode should
okay.
set some parameters
Okay.
because I think pre-COVID people were way more inclined to show up sick for things.
Yeah.
Now people are much better about it. But I also think like people think they're obligated to go when they're not feeling well. And it's like, no, you're not. Like, I think as a rule, you're right. Like, if you're not feeling well, stay home.
Did you take a COVID test when you were feeling crappy?
No, I don't. And I knew it wasn't COVID. It was a sinus infection.
But you didn't know it was a sinus infection.
Well, I knew my face was like pressure in my face. So I
What
had
is
to
a sinus
actually,
infection?
it's when your nasal passages are like clogged. So this whole area of your face is like stuffed.
Right. Okay. So I guess you had and a sinus infection isn't contagious.
It's a bacterial infection usually. So no. Well, could be, I guess. They all could be contagious, I suppose. I don't know.
So what did they give you at the doctor?
They gave me amoxicillin and steroids, prednisone. I'm jacked up.
Amoxicillin is that's for bacteria or viral?
Bacteria.
I always get confused. Which is the one that like doesn't you
You can't
can't
do anything for a viral.
okay, you can't do anything for a viral and antibiotics kill bacterial, but
Right.
we've been taking antibiotics our whole lives and we're basically the whole world is coming to an
Right.
end,
We've
right?
ruined our gut. We ruined our
Right.
gut. We ruined
Right.
our defense, natural
Yeah.
defenses. We've been setting off nuclear bombs inside of our bodies for colds.
Do you ever go to the doctor and they're like, well, we're not sure it's bacterial or viral. We don't want to give you antibiotics because we're overprescribing them. And you're like, come on, one just for me, just for
That
me.
literally happened this week. That was the exact spiel. I didn't realize that's the canned spiel.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was like, just give me whatever you think is going to clear this up.
Right. And they're like, well, we're not sure, overprescribed. I'm like, well, it's not going to, one person is not going to change the public health
No, they
epidemic.
could. They saw me jonesing.
Oh, yeah.
I was
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
come on, give me the
How do you,
heavy.
how do you take prednisone? Do you jack it into your ass?
Oh yeah. I have to squeeze the fat. You gotta go. No, it's a pill. I mean, it'd be awesome if you're like, I gotta jam this in my ass.
So why do athletes and other people taking it for nefarious means inject it if it's just a pill?
Different. It's a different steroidal compound.
Yeah. And you were saying that you understand Lance Armstrong better now because when you got the prednisone, you were like raring to go.
Oh, raging. Sometimes they give it to you in a course where it's 6 pills the first day, and then it goes down to 1. And on that first day, I mean, you got the eye of the tiger. I could rip a phone book in half. That first day.
Does it keep you up?
Oh yeah. I mean, but then you crash. But I'm telling you, I could lift a car off of like somebody trapped under a tire that day. Like I could lift it up.
Because sometimes I wonder, it's like you saw that Russian figure skater just got like dinged for taking whatever. And I'm
Yeah.
just like, how could it really do anything for a figure skater? But I guess you're just locked in.
I mean, it's a lot of things, man. It's recovery. It's all these things that give you a competitive advantage.
Right. Did you see? I can't remember who I saw like half of a headline that someone's starting like a sporting event and you can use drugs.
I love that. I've always wanted to see these guys go all the way to the limit. Like when Barry Bonds, his head grew like 3 sizes too wide. I was
Right.
like, this is awesome.
God, I love it. We were all just like, it's fine. It's a home run race by 2 little beanstalks who are now jacked.
I know. It was great. It was great. They were hitting them into the ocean. Remember that? Like,
Right.
so like it used to be far if you could hit like the second deck. Then there were dudes with like motorboats, like chasing McGuire into the East Bay. I mean, there were migrant boats like catching home run balls.
There's nothing seems less entertaining for me than watching a San Francisco Giants game from a kayak.
It's the dumbest thing. Like, I actually think about that sometimes because like people want to do those bleacher seats where they catch the home runs. Those seem terrible, but you're right. Standing in a kayak, like listening to the game, waiting to hear if there's like one out of every 10 games, like a huge crack of the bat.
Have you ever caught a foul ball?
Mm, no, I don't bring a glove to the game.
Well, you don't have to catch it with a glove.
That's it. That's how you're gonna do damage to yourself.
Well, I was gonna say, I don't know if you know this about me, but one of my fears is getting hit by a foul ball.
It's a
So,
very
like,
rational fear.
oh, well, thank you. Like when I'll
I
go,
saw a woman get hit by a hockey puck right in front of me, split her face open. My mom and I always talk about it. We're like, she really took one for the team that day because she was sitting right.
yeah.
Just blood, explosive. A hockey puck's scarier than a baseball, don't you think?
But I think now in the present day, they've put a net around the whole thing, so you can't really
Yes.
get hit
This was
anymore.
the 80s, different regs.
They didn't even, you went there, no seatbelt, you came back.
No. Oh,
But
we gotta look up how many deaths from hockey pucks, you know?
oh God. So whenever I go, me and our buddy Jeff and Evan will go to like a Yankees Dodgers game once a year. And I'll say, listen, I'll sit wherever you want, just no foul ball territory. Because first of all, you're not paying attention. You're drinking tall boys, as we know, at Dodger Stadium, and they just rifle the balls at you. I don't know. I think it's absolutely insane.
By the way, I just Googled and there's like 6 different people who got killed in the past 10 years by hockey pucks.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I can't do it.
I like how when you get hit by a ball, like your reward is what? Like a bat?
Right.
Like
They find something for you. Yeah.
Yeah. They saw you're in the hospital. They're like, hey, you know what I would never do? I don't care how much pressure. I would never return a historic ball.
I was just going to say the same thing.
Pay me 500 grand.
Yeah. I think that at the very least, you need to take a beat and think about it.
Yeah. Immediately the entire crowd pressures you and then they just trade you for a regular ball.
Well, but you remember the guy who caught Jeter's 3,000th hit that was a home run?
Yeah. What happened?
He gave it right back and he became a celebrity. Topps made a baseball card with him catching it. Like, oh no,
he still never got the dollar value out of that play.
Yeah. I mean, and now he's some guy whose name we can't remember.
We're very, I mean, it's winning the lottery and then just having the crowd pressure you into giving it to some rich guy.
I know we're far afield, but I have a very important question I don't think we've ever talked about. What's your take on Bartman?
He was wrongly misaligned. He was wrongly maligned.
Absolutely. I think about him sometimes and I start to I
cry.
Well up. Yeah.
Is he okay?
He's living a reclusive life and that's how he wants it.
Unbelievably unfair, the abuse that guy took. And if you don't know what we're talking about, it was a guy who was at a Cubs game who didn't even reach that far over. And the player could have caught the ball. And instead Bartman got in the way and it was interference and the ball ended up dropping. So they didn't get the third out and they lost. And the Cubs didn't win the World Series.
Yeah, which by the way, the Cubs also blew. I mean, it wasn't like he single-handedly lost the game for them. He's like a reverse Jeffrey Mayer.
The reverse Mayer. Him and Mayer, there should be a buddy comedy.
Him and Mayer. Yeah. Mayer and Bartman?
Yeah. Ooh.
What
Can we just come up with our next script?
What a niche. Yeah, I mean, that's Blacklist.
That is Blacklisty. Ooh, that's buzzy. Ooh.
What do they do?
Should we get back to the topic? Should we get back to the topic of sickness?
Yes.
Okay. So I have to admit, I feel like I've been on both ends. I feel like I recently didn't show up for something and I wasn't sick enough to not show up. It was a friend's 40th recently, and Brenner was sick, and I just kind of felt like I was just run down. So we bailed.
I don't know if we've talked about this on the pod before, but a child is basically a built-in excuse to not do things you don't want to do. Forget about if he's sick, not sick.
Yeah.
No one can say anything when you're like, Timmy's not feeling well. Timmy's got a fever.
We did a last minute cancellation. I didn't feel good about it, but I also was trying to protect myself and our family first.
Yeah, but I'm assuming, I don't know. Maybe this is a bad assumption. If it was my 40th birthday, you probably would have stuck it out.
Again, I don't like doing that.
Well, what do you mean? It's the whole point of the topic of the show.
Yeah, I know, but then it's that you're saying because I don't care about that person enough.
I thought that we're trying to come up with a rubric.
Yeah. No, it wasn't about how close it was a close friend.
Oh, it's how sick you are.
I think so.
Okay, so you're telling me you've got a catch in the back of throat, a little bit of sniffle, and it's between and my wedding is coming up.
All right, I guess
Or
it's the event too.
okay, so I mean, sometimes you just gotta stick it out.
Right. Yeah. I know. I felt like maybe I should have stuck that one out, is what I'm saying,
Yeah,
the 40th. But on the
yeah.
flip side, I was just thinking about how I got COVID the one and only time.
Hmm.
We went to the Soho House on New Year's, and Jess's dad was going to come with us. And then he bailed last minute after I bought the ticket because he's like, I don't want to get COVID.
Yeah.
Sure enough, got COVID.
Uh, what
And that
year? What?
was New Year's Day was Bombay Claire's baby shower in our house. I think she's still a little raw about the fact that I may have had COVID, but we were outside.
Sorry, was this January 1st, 2021 or 2022?
2022.
So post vaccine.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you didn't know you had COVID. You can't know within
Right. And
12
I
hours.
think it was latent. It was in its hibernation period. What do you call it?
I vaguely know what you're talking about. It
Latent
was,
period before it's
yeah,
before I could,
yeah.
yeah.
Well, I think you know
That same
my,
party, there were a bunch of other people with sniffles too.
yeah, yeah. I think you also like you're the day after New Year's. First of all, her baby shower was New Year's Day.
I believe it was the second, maybe.
Okay, as the story changes a little bit.
No.
And I think you know I got COVID one and only time. My only time was at Pride.
That seems like a safe place to catch something for sure.
Yeah, Pride. I think it was 2021 or was it 2022? I don't remember. I think it was 2022. You know, I'm an ally.
Yeah.
Went to meet up with our buddies. Went to a place called Stash. Walked in, it was like it's COVID immediately. I mean, like I could feel it.
It's rain and COVID.
I mean,
Hallelujah.
I could just feel we were taking shots of.
You felt
Oh
it.
God,
You
I
felt the
felt
little
it.
green. What color is the COVID ball? Green or red?
That's
You
a.
felt the little the
I
spike
think.
protein hit the spike protein caught onto your upper mustache. That
I
mustache.
think. I think I had a. Well, first of all, you know, we should tell our listeners we live in West Hollywood, so like, you know, going to gay bars is not that unusual. The shots
For
they
you.
pour for you at a gay bar are
Yeah.
outrageous.
Yes.
I
You
mean,
mean they're strong or they're big?
they're both.
Yeah, big and
I
strong.
mean, you know, when you get, I mean, this could happen at any bar, not just a gay bar, but we've all been there, Matt. Like, you get it, you order a shot, and you're like, "Is this a drink?"
Yeah, those big. First of all, I have to admit, Fireball Adam caught me throwing a drink on the floor, straight up on the floor recently, a shot.
Oh yeah. Oh, I mean, I did that to you a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, but like I didn't do it the normal way. Like how do you normally like as if this is normal? How do you normally just discard a shot?
So if you want to pretend to take a shot and you don't want your friends not to know you didn't take it, you kind of make the motion. So you go, "Ugh," but
Right.
you don't drink it, and then you when they're all closing their eyes and like, you know, like sniveling, you put it on the bar.
So you want to know what I did?
You just dumped it on the floor.
I just went because I thought they were all like this. So I just went, "Boop."
And he saw you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that feels about right. That feels about right. Should we take a
Hold
listener
on.
question?
Not
Yeah.
yet. I want to do a rapid because we haven't gotten to our.
You want to do a rapid test?
I want to do a rapid test of you when this is the yes or no. Okay.
Okay.
So it's your friend's birthday, regular birthday, weekend. You're getting over a cold. You're pretty much over it. It's lingering. Still have a little sniffle. Do you go to the party?
How good a friend?
It's in your outer circle. It's supposed to be rapid fire.
Oh, okay. I'd say no, I don't go.
Okay. It's your friend's wedding and you had COVID a week ago. You're on the tail end.
You go.
It's okay. Do you tell people you had COVID?
I mean, you either wear a mask like one of those people, or you tell people. Oof. Ugh. I'd say probably not.
Okay. You you I don't know what other ones there are, but I was just trying to do a rapid fire of when you should go, when you shouldn't go.
Yeah, I mean, it's your. I mean, I think you got to listen to your body.
Yeah. I
And,
just feel like people are always trying to err on the side of showing up for their friends, and we always as our pod, as our mantra
yeah.
is showing up. But like, I just think we're in a time now where everybody's sensitive about ailments, and you should take care of yourself, so you should sit it out mostly.
I want to get I want to get your take on this listener question because I think it'll be a good test of your rubric.
Okay.
All right, let's take a listener question. This is asking for a friend if you have a friendship dilemma or ethical situation. Send it to us on Instagram, Man of the Year Podcast, and we will answer it on the show. I feel like we always get either really overly detailed questions or really vague ones. This was very detailed, so I'm just going to give you the synopsis. So basically, I think it's a guy said his buddy wasn't feeling well and canceled plans with him. They were just going to go out for a drink. He then saw on a mutual friend's Instagram story that the guy was out doing something else.
Ouch.
Does he confront him? What are your thoughts? Does he tell him I saw you out?
Ooh. Wow. So his friend canceled on plans.
Yeah.
And he saw him in the Instagram story that same night.
Correct. Like in the background.
I will say this.
Yeah.
Not all Instagram stories are from that day.
Typical Matt. I mean, that's literally the definition of Instagram stories. You could see when it was. I mean,
No.
yes, you could. Yes,
no,
you could.
Not true. Not true. I post Instagram stories all the time from videos I shot days ago with Brenner.
Yes, but it was that night. I mean, I don't know, yeah.
I'm just saying there's a possibility.
Yes, sure. You could post videos from World War II on an Instagram story, but yes, this was
right.
happening.
You could be like, hey, I thought you said you were sick. That was
Right.
Vietnam, bro. That was Vietnam.
Right.
You can clearly see the napalm behind me in the desert, in the
desert, in the jungle, I think.
In the jungle. Huh. Do you confront? How close of a friend is this?
Well, now I'm making judgments, but let's say let's say outer inner circle. So not your best friend in the world, but
right. I mean, I think if you don't confront, now you're going to be having this thing. Like, you're going to have this unsaid thing that's going to be bothering you for a while.
Well, I was trying to think, like, what did the lying friend, what were they doing? And maybe they just wanted to, because sometimes we white lie. White lie, I think, is okay sometimes.
Yeah.
Like, was that just a white lie? Like, they double booked or?
Right. It happens. I mean, it happens. It definitely happens. Here's the thing. We have a friend who shall remain nameless who always does this to us.
Mm-hmm.
Makes up some BS excuse, and then we know they already went somewhere because they thought it was better. They're always looking for the cooler thing to do.
Yeah.
We just don't care about that person anymore.
Right. Well, that's, I mean, I suppose that's sort of a different scenario.
No, it's the same scenario. I'm just saying,
right.
Depends on what kind of person this person is. Is this a person who does this consistently?
Right.
Because if it's a person who does this consistently, then you kind of you don't have to write them off, but you just have to put them in the bucket of you're not a real quality friend. So the main thing of our pod is who are you investing in? So if you don't invest in this person, then you can appreciate them for the flake that they are. But you don't trust them and you don't make plans with them where it's okay, well, if this person bails on me, my Friday night's screwed.
Now, what if it's more of a one-time thing? This person's not.
I think you let one of those slide every now and then.
Yeah.
Every now and then, though. I wouldn't I don't want to. I don't want to have a lot of friends that do that. Are you not inviting me somewhere? What are we in high school?
I tend to agree with you because when you said, "Oh, you should say something because that's going to be bothering you. But that's kind of like, putting your, even though they lied, you're putting your, it's just causing a situation.
Yeah, but I think you need to know the state of your relationship with your friends.
But if it's a one-time thing,
Right.
like,
Maybe
listen,
let it slide, 'cause you may not know. They may have gotten invited last second, and they were really planning on staying home, and then, like, whatever, somebody who's maybe closer to them and, like, their best
right.
friend was in town. You don't know the circumstances.
I guess the question is, should the faux sick person have lied at all or just told the truth?
Should have told the truth.
Hmm.
I mean, I think it's always better to just tell the truth. But occasionally, like, if you think first of all, why are you posting on Instagram?
No, no, no. This was the background of someone else's
Well, you
Instagram.
do hear but look, let's just say this happens a lot. I feel too many times people say to me, "Hey, don't post this. Don't post this on Insta."
I think this was a what's the word? Like a bat in the background of something.
Right. But I don't you feel that you have like that just not just with us, I just feel it happens too much. There's something wrong with friendship in America where too many times people are saying, "Hey, don't post this because I didn't tell this person that I was going to be here." Like, why are we there? I feel what the larger question that you and I, the friendship experts, need to fix is why are we in a situation where it's so frequent where somebody goes, "Hey, don't post that because I didn't tell this one person I was doing this thing." So we're doing something wrong with friendship if we're getting to this place a lot.
Well, some of it is people's lack of social awareness, which I always rail about. Because
Yeah,
in a very early episode, remember you and me were saying how sometimes when we go to New York, we don't post on Instagram so people don't know
right,
we're there.
right. That's an
Uh,
absurd way to live, right?
well, yes, because people
Why are we
other
why are we being forced to live in isolation chambers?
because people are
Social isolation chambers.
because people are very weird.
Sensitive. People are sensitive. Right. So I think we have to say, hey, people aren't obligated to tell you they're in your city or tell you when they're going out. They're not always obligated to invite you everywhere. But you should have conversations with your friends periodically and let them know how you're feeling about, hey, next time if you're out and doing something fun, I'd love to come. If that's what you're feeling when you see them in a picture doing something fun. If you're feeling like, why isn't this person inviting me? I think it's okay to have a little convo about it. They look like a really fun party. If I haven't really been out in a bit. If you have anything like birthdays coming up, I'd love to join you.
Uh, just going back to the traveling thing, I really walked the walk recently. Our friend Pat, I don't know how to describe, politics Pat would be the way, who lives in the East Coast now. He left LA and he was
Yeah.
visiting for the first time in a while. And I said to him, like, hey, would love to see you. Realize you're only here for 3 days. You're getting pulled in many different directions. You have your wife, you have your kid. Would love to see it if it works. If not, no big deal. I
I
gave him
like
a
that.
thousand outs.
I like that.
Does anybody ever do that to me? No. They're like, how come you're not hanging out? I'm like, I'm in New York for 2 days.
I like that. I told you I had that friend who wasn't even that close from law school who was like, I have an hour before my plane. I was like, you know what? I'll do that.
Right. Right. Exactly. But like a little bit of social awareness
Right.
goes a long
Listen,
way.
people are lonely. Look, I mean, it's flattering. Like, let's step back. Like the fact that people want to hang out with you should be grateful.
Hmm.
Nah. Here I was like, nah, who cares? Who cares? I'm just saying, like on some level, be grateful there's somebody who wants to see you at all.
No,
Um,
no, you're right. You're right. You're right. I just,
no, but how do we address this issue of like, okay, I feel like I have to lie to my friend because I told him I didn't want to go out with him, and then are you obligated to? If you say no to one person, maybe you shouldn't say I'm not going out.
well, let me ask you this. Let's bring it up a level higher. Let's say it's not a really good example for me and you, but all right, let's just say we're going to get a drink and then you get invited to the Knicks game. And you really want to, I'm sorry, the Lakers game or Clippers game. You really want to
Yeah,
go to the Clippers
I
game.
would tell you. I'd say, look, dude, I know we've made plans, but I got these tickets. I would tell you.
Right. And you think that's
Or
okay.
or you could just say something came up. Like thing is, you can, you're allowed to cancel on people. I mean, it's not great to do it consistently and frequently, but sometimes something like that does happen. You scored Laker tickets.
Right.
Are you
Well,
always
yeah.
obligated to honor your obligations with a friend? Depends.
Yeah. I
We
mean,
want you to. We want you to. We don't want you to bail on your friends every time something better comes along.
right. Well, that's what I'm saying. Essentially, you're just leveling up your plans because something better came along. Tickets is maybe a bad example because, okay, you got tickets, but like, I can't think of another example of
Right. I
like,
don't think you should always be leveling up your plans because your plan should be about the people you're spending time with, not about the activity.
right. You know, if your buddy who's a chef hit you up and was like opening a new restaurant, you know, it's going to be friends and family one night only, and you already had plans with me and you couldn't invite me, you know,
I
I
would
kind
tell
of,
you.
yeah. And so you said
And
you would cancel on me.
I don't know. I think I would say, hey, dude, if you want, if you want me to not go, I don't know if I know
You
then
can't
you're
put it
like,
on me.
you can't put it on you. I don't
Yeah.
think I would go to the friends and family thing. If we had plans to hang out, like whatever, I don't need to be at that thing.
Right.
Depends. Like, again, it's like, is this something that, it's also like, like I think you have a good point. And as you get older with family and stuff, like when you make plans with people, you're putting it in the calendar way in advance. It's more obnoxious to cancel on somebody that you had long-standing plans for.
Oh, so you're actually kind of saying that my algorithm has a downside.
No, I'm saying that it's not that it has a downside. I'm saying it obligates you to be more responsible and more
Oh.
reliable as an adult to people.
Right. Because I would say, okay, let's say I tell my buddy Shane we're having drinks in 2 months. That's the only time we can let's
Yeah.
lock it in. And then 2 weeks before something comes up and I want to cancel, an argument against that would be we've had these plans for 2 months. Now you're going to
Yeah.
cancel now? But if
Yeah.
I just made the plans 3 days earlier, it would be different?
Yeah. Well, I'm saying this because I'm like married with a kid, my calendar has to be filled earlier.
Right.
I got to put these things on the calendar earlier. I can't
But I'm
make last
saying
minute.
does the the amount of time in advance a plan is made change your calculus of canceling?
I think so. It should. I
Mm,
think it should. I'm coming around on that. I think it
mm.
should because people invest now. I've had a babysitter lined up. Like there's things.
I mean, all those things could be true if you made the plans a week before, though.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah. I'm not sure about that. That one Sergeant Black and White is a little
Yeah, I don't know either. Listen, I'm saying I think this is a really big topic that needs deep exploration of like what is our rubric for when you can cancel on someone. Look, I don't like saying the idea of leveling up. I don't even like that. I hate people who think that way.
right.
Who think like, oh, something better came up, so let me ditch my friend. Because I
I mean,
said
unless
we have a friend who constantly does that, and now they're just in a bucket of like, all right, you're my friend, but like nominally.
right. I mean, that's saying constantly. But again, if you got Lakers tickets, you would level up.
Every once in a maybe once in a blue moon, not every time. Like I'm saying, if
Right.
we have dinner planned, like if we had a boys' night planned, like we're going to get steaks, and somebody was like, I have front row tickets to Lakers, I'm not canceling for that.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, okay. Fair enough. Do we answer the question? I said don't confront, give them one pass.
Give them one pass. But if it's a consistent thing and you're a close friend, I think you should say, hey man, I just want you to know, like, if if we make plans, like I that's my plan for the night. And then if I get canceled on, like I don't have anything to do, so it upsets me if like then I find out you went out somewhere else. Not, like it's fine if you want to go out and do something else, but let me know because it's also jamming me up.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, that was asking for a friend. If you have a friendship question or ethical dilemma, send it to us on Instagram and we will answer it on the show. All right, Matt, what did we learn today?
Well, I think the big lesson is err on the side of health in the post-COVID world, and it'll be okay if you don't go to your friend's birthday party.
And I think I learned that it is a kind of a multi-dimensional rubric to determine if you need to cancel on someone. How sick are you? Is it a white lie? How close is the friend? How big is the event? And we always come back to, our tenant. It's communication. If it's your good buddy, just tell them what's going on. They'll understand.
And I also think, just remember, if you have to miss that because you're sick, which you should because you have to prioritize your health, you can always make it up to somebody.
Yes. And I like that. Like, hey, I'm not feeling well. Let's put it on the calendar
Now, I love that.
another time.
Right. Like
That's
you're saying, hey, you're not just saying, hey, I'm sorry I missed it. Like, okay, so you missed my party. Now I'm pissed.
right.
Like, you're saying, I missed your party and I'd like to take you out to lunch next week.
That's how
'Cause
you
I
know.
want to celebrate that thing.
That's how you know, like when you're going on a date, like the girl's not just canceling on you because she doesn't want to go. If she says, "Oh, I'm not feeling well," which happens to happen more often than people actually get sick. If they say, "I'm not feeling well," how about next Wednesday, next Thursday? Then you know they're actually sick. They're like, "I'm not
Right.
feeling well," then you never hear from them again.
What's the ratio of dating real sickness to fake sickness? Oof,
I mean, the dating fake sickness is
10 to 1,
85%.
8 to 1.
It's like if a girl on a first or second date says she has sore throat, 10% chance she's actually ill.
Is that the number one true law? Is that the number one true illness?
Oh, a sore throat, not feeling well. Thought I was
Is the
fine, but
stomach ache still the number one fake one?
no, it's sore throat.
So it's the fake. Wait, so the fake and the real one is the same thing?
Oh, I don't know what the real one is. I mean, real, I don't know. Real is just really sore
When people
throat is
say
the
sore throat, that's the new one?
sore throat is like, like if you're a swinger, you put like a certain kind of plant out front of your and it means
Pineapple,
you're
the upside
a
down
pineapple.
pineapple.
Sore throat is a reverse of that. Like sore throat is like get the fuck out of here.
Oh, shit. Wow.
Yeah.
Didn't know that.
Someone tells you it's no one has a sore throat, Matt.
Right.
No girl has a sore throat. I'm sorry.
Well, if she's been, doing a lot of stuff there.
Okay, inappropriate. On that note, guys, thank you for listening. Be good to yourself. Be good to your friends. Love you,
Love
buddy.
you, buddy.